Greetings, viewers, and welcome back. After a long trek out to the west coast and back, Red-Rupee is here once again to bring you some Dawn of War 2 action. Hopefully those one-on-one matches from the Elite Mod tournament have been holding you over because we got some 3-on-3 action. I know you love those team battles, so let's get to it. On the blue team, we've got SamJackson as my personal favorite, this Tech Marine, alongside AngryRodent as the Eldar Warlock, their final ally on the blues, Venjitron, as the Eldar Farseer. Oh, caught up to her there just a quick second ago. And on the red team, lots of chaos. GaiusBaltar as the Chaos Lord charging up those stairs. Dandalus is the Chaos Sorcerer, and last but not least, HedonismBot as that Plague Champion, that nasty, nasty fellow. So lots of Chaos versus Eldar down here on the center and far side maps. We've got the Tech Marine up top, of course. Great lane for a turret. Little shenanigans up there for the Chaos Lord if we so choose. Looks like Warlock's way up here looking for some trouble. Might find himself some heretics. Maybe get off. Let's see. Blasts a nice destructor right in there. Just a moment too late on the Siege Worship to try to dodge that blast. But unfortunately, those heretics took a big ol' hit. I think it's probably going to be a bit difficult here for the Eldar. We've got triple Guardians here for the Farseer and Howling Banshees for the Warlock player. Of course, the Plague Champ and the Chaos Sorcerer have a lot of area of effect options, and I think that kind of make it fairly tricky for the Eldar early on. Of course, we can see that go very differently with the Farseer. Oh, look at that perfect special attack right in the thick of those Eldar, or sorry, right in the thick of those Chaos. Meanwhile, the Warlock getting himself caught up in a little Siege Worship. Heretics moving up under the cover of all that darkness. Oh, and a return favor for that early Destructor. Some Doom Bolts going right into all those Dire Avengers. One squad took the full brunt of those blasts, and now flanking in some more Guardians, or Dire Avengers rather, coming in once again on all of this. Looking, as I was saying earlier, maybe a little tricky for Eldar, but they're proving the usefulness of their glass cannon potential here in these first couple engagements. That said, once we see sort of a more critical mass hit on these early Chaos forces, it could be a lot trickier for the Eldar to hold against this. But this is so many Dire Avengers. What is this, 5 squads of Dire Avengers right now? 15 models in here 25 models in here, throwing it all around. See, that's what happens when you go on hiatus for a week. You come back, you can't get your numbers right, you can't get your models and unit names right. It's just a mess. Anyway, SamJackson going for the Devastator Marines. Looks like he got pushed back a little bit up top, but managed to get the counter push. Maybe the Chaos were up there a bit too far. But yeah, we're seeing here, so see the double Chaos Space Marines, and then, of course, the third squad from the Sorcerer is going to be a lot more resilient against these very squishy Dire Avengers. Good use of the shield so far, but Venji and AngryRodent are going to have to be very careful with how they approach this blob here, because of course the Plague Champion himself has things like the Bile Spewer, like the Plague Cloud that it can throw out there to really just rip apart these light infantry squads early on. So we'll have to see what the Farseer goes for. Good use of energy shields, grenades, and guide can of course easily deter this advancing Chaos force. And again, they're just moving into a crossfire. That's definitely what they don't want to be doing. But there are 2 squads of Havocs now up on the field, suppressing everything. Doom Bolts go off, but the shield was still up. The shield now goes down. Flanking Guardians and Dire Avengers moving in, but Chaos Heretics Doom Bolting right on everything. A pair of grenades tear apart that squad while everything's moving in on the right side. Unfortunately for the Eldar forces, the Siege Worship's going to allow the Havoc to set up under cover of Shroud right there. Tech Marine and his forces get suppressed. However, the Dire Avengers for Mr. AngryRodent moving in on the far side again, getting suppressed by the second squad of Chaos Havocs there. Grenade going down once again from those scouts, taking out that head model. The lead model now unable to support. Oh man, and just under a hail of gunfire, that Plague Champion goes down in the blink of an eye. Second Scout Squad upgrades right in the nick of time, and that's a perfect grenade. Oh my gosh. Down goes a Havoc Squad. Everything's happening so fast. Havoc Squad down, 2 heroes down in the center. This first back and forth on the center lane has been pretty huge for both sides. Now the Guardians moving in. Unfortunately, what are they doing? Getting into melee right there. 2 grenades going down once again. Oh no, but it might be too much friendly fire. That one Last Dire Avenger goes down. The small victory to try to recover there from the red team. Actually, I think all things considered, they're going to get their hero back up. They managed to take out an opposing squad after losing their own Havoc. I think all things considered, that might not be too bad, especially considering, oh man, what's going on up top? Looks like Raptors, Heretics, and a Chaos Lord with that Combat Flame are taking out a gen farm, a full gen farm. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, there's Havocs, or sorry, not Havocs, but a Devastator squad up here, but with the Raptors on the chase, there's really not a lot they can do about that. I'd like to use Raptor models too, man, with those hazards on their legs. I guess that might give your opponent a little heads up, though, as to what's coming down on their heads. You see that giant blue, or sorry, those giant caution signs coming down from the sky. 466 to 437, and wow, oh man, double Chaos Heretic grenades over here. This is a lot of potential AoE, especially that they can fire off along with those Doom Bolts from around these corners too. If they could really be hanging back behind these walls and forcing the Eldar to move up in a not very safe position, especially with all these melee heretics. They gotta really take advantage of those walls once you have those grenade launchers. They can be a huge, huge pain in the neck in that lower lane because of that wall. AngryRodent heading into tier 2 quickly, but really going light on the tech so far. Only got the 2 aspect of Avenger upgrades so far. No shuriken cannons for either Venji or AngryRodent, so they're really going to have to take advantage of their Eldar abilities. Like, we've seen Venji really been using those grenades pretty well so far, so hopefully he continues to do that. Had some energy shields up in that first engagement. Getting a return gen bash here. They took out all 3 generators, managing to get that back up for the red team, but the red team's going to have to get back out there if they don't want to lose all those gens they just purchased back. You really don't want to purchase those gens until you get everything under control. You don't, like, as you can see, they just purchased all those back and they're just losing them right away. There's no point in buying those back if you haven't pushed the enemy off of the gen bash yet, or you're just wasting your requisitions. So kind of a blunder there from the red team, but we'll see if they can manage to make it up here. AngryRodent well ahead in tech. Dandalus not far behind, but neither of the other 2 red team has pushed anything down. We're seeing these double Chaos Space Marines and double Heretic grenade launchers just wreak havoc on Venji's squads over here, causing quite a lot of bleed on all of those squads. That dual worship kind of spreading those grenade launchers out, and the second they stop, that volley goes down right on the head of those Dire Avengers, doing some pretty heavy damage. Once again, the blue team finding itself on the wrong end of a gen bash. They do have all of the reds powered down, and they managed to effectively double gen bash that up there, so they do have the center contested power node with a couple gens up right now, so all things considered, they're probably staying slightly ahead in the tech race. Wraith Lord coming down, so hopefully AngryRodent's quick tech idea here is going to work out for him. Sorcerer finding himself a bit out of position. Let's see what goes on. Grenade goes to, oh no, that would have been a perfect grenade had the Sorcerer gone the direction they expected him to. I actually would have expected him to go that direction too, so a slight miscalculation there, but that almost would have certainly taken out the Chaos Sorcerer had that landed correctly. So we have a Blood Crusher coming out. It looked like Dandalus was planning on going for some Plague Marines, but ended up canceling it, going instead, opting for that quick melee vehicle heading on in there. Chaos Havocs now dropping some fire here, but the Rangers are there with the kinetic shot to knock them down. And of course, all these Dire Avengers moving in. But with all of that firepower, look at that. Oh man, the Bile Spewer throws down that nasty goo right in the middle of everything, slowing down the advance of these Dire Avengers. They throw down a beautiful grenade right in the thick of it all, and that alone forced almost a full retreat of the Chaos forces. I don't even think they needed to do that, but considering that there's a Wraith Lord coming in, it probably doesn't matter much anyways that he may have hit that prematurely. But Venji kind of cost a lot to get that grenade down. Lots of losses there on either side. What's going on up top? It looks like the Chaos Lord haranguing that Devastator. Raptors making sure it doesn't stay up. Tech Marine still looking vanilla here, while the Chaos Lord pushes back all these scouts on his own. That Comet Flame are really going to be able to do a number on that light infantry squad. They can't really kite around nearly as well once he gets that Comet Flamer firing. However, it looks like he's getting pretty low. But nah, he's going to be alright. He's going to be just fine. Raptors now getting their aspiring champion up there, getting a little more bulk. and that nice additional power melee there. Blood Crusher way up there. Let's see, what is this Wraith Lord doing? There are now Plague Champions, or sorry, Plague Marines on the field to aid that Plague Champion against that Welker Assault, and we already have the Mark of Khorne autocannon queued up for HedonismBot, so as soon as he hits tier 2, he's going to have another source of soft anti-vehicle. He has to be very careful with this Wraith Lord. I'm sure he understands that he can't simply just walk away from these Plague Marines, but he has to do something in the next few moments before this thing gets upgraded. And with all the worship back here, along with, look at how quickly those Plague Marines are rejuvenating their health there and getting in those quick turn and fire shots, kiting around. Havoc is getting upgraded. Ooh, and a nice call in there. Excellent choice there to bring in the Avatar at the last moment. Or sorry, not the Avatar, the Autarch at the last moment. Don't stand there and fight. Get that Wraith Lord the heck out of there. If those Plague Marines turn and open fire again, you could be in a lot of trouble. Good timing for a special attack, forced off all those guys, and these Dire Avengers need to get on the patch-up job with the Blood Crusher now moving in from behind GaiusBaltar, getting himself some Bloodletters. He's sitting on a huge pile of requisition, so Bloodletters are pretty reasonable, high-rec, low-power investment units that against the Tech Marine's current makeup could actually do pretty well. Need a little more anti-vehicle support for that Dreadnought, but that's something that his allies can assist with, considering the Dandalus, their mid-player, does have those Plague Marines and the Blood Crusher. However, looks like the, oh man, Sorcerer doesn't manage to sneak away, but however, the Chains of Torment are down, the Dark Flames go down on top of all of that. Wraith Lord finding it in a very compromised position right now as everything's just getting constantly knocked around by AoE. Those grenade launchers ripping apart everything. Rangers go down. A very fortunate Eldar Size Storm right there. Buying a little bit of time for that Wraith Lord. No, the Wraith Lord turns back around. It needs to be very careful with those Plague Marines moving in. This Wraith Lord's been hanging on the cusp of death here in the past couple engagements, but now with the Plague Marines moving in and the the Warlock having to fall back. Very unfortunate indeed. Venjitron going tier 3, probably a bit prematurely considering all he has is Dire Avenger squads. GaiusBaltar, we've been looking a lot at what's happening down bottom. Let's see what's going on up top. It looks like every time we come up here, there's just generators getting destroyed for one side or the other. Tech Marine did upgrade with that plasma gun, does have the Dreadnought out here, which is largely unanswered by GaiusBaltar. Probably needs to get himself either a Havoc or some Plague Marines of his own onto the field. Double Siege getting upgraded there in the center for Mr. HedonismBot, and that's the last thing you want to see with all that Eldar light infantry is those Inferno Bolters dealing out some serious damage. That's kind of what happens when I was talking about earlier, hitting that critical mass of damage output from these Chaos Forces. This autocannon, these siege spots, those grenade launchers, doom bolts, all that kind of thing can just shred these kind of blobs of light infantry. We can see the Banshees really haven't been able to do much at all this game. Still sitting at level 1. Oh man, and the Chains of Torment coming down once again. But even so, now with, what is this? Is this 2 squads of Dark Reapers now on the field? That is some serious return fire that's going to be coming onto the field. However, you don't want to be charging headlong into a Havoc autocannon in the meantime. Dark Flames going down once again, but a nice looking Ethereal Slash goes down. Knocks those Chaos all over the place, but the combination of Dark Flames and that Plague Cloud is too nasty. It might be a dead Dire Avenger squad, but no, a lone model escapes with a single HP. Just barely surviving to fight another day. Sorcerer is back up after taking a volley of fire from those Dire Avengers and those Dark Reapers. Gen's down on the far side. And man, I think we've now seen every Gen farm bashed on this map. Tech Marine holding strong up top here, although it looks like he may have taken a little more damage. I'm not sure if the Chaos Lord tried to stop him. GaiusBaltar, unfortunately, with just a single squad of Chaos Space Marine. Hopefully the picture-in-picture has been showing what's going on up top there, because we've been missing the action watching that Eldar on Chaos Madness. One lone Howling Banshee. I guess the Howling Banshees have just been given up on as a combat unit, and they're just being used to cap at this point, perhaps. I'm not sure what's going on there. Venji now with the Fire Prism managed to get that fast tech to pay off. It looks like we now have Fire Dragons on the field as well. So dual Dark Reapers and Fire Dragons. AngryRodent going quick tier 2 and just hanging out there, not going for the tier 3 as Venji's chosen to do 319 to 349. I'm really not sure who has the advantage right now. Venji's looking pretty weak, as is GaiusBaltar, but AngryRodent and HedonismBot with full armies right now. And this Dreadnought once again finding itself out of position, or sorry, not once again, but the blue team finding their walkers out of position, because now with 2 squads of Plague Marines and this Blood Crusher, that can make short work of any walker here. Just saw a beautiful Ethereal Slash go down on all of those gathered up chaos. We've been seeing a lot of just kind of blobbing around with these ranged forces. Now these double Dark Reapers along with those Fire Dragons really putting some hurt on, finally starting to threaten this Blood Crusher along with that Dreadnought. The Wraith Lord corpse is still down here, now finally exploding there. Dreadnought's going a bit deep though. Ooh, a squad of Siege Marines just went down there, I think. Another Plague Cloud does scare off the opposing forces.
The prism cannon is
Fire Prism's out here, but where's that? Oh my gosh, that Dreadnought's going super deep after that Blood Crusher. It has to realize it's not going to capture it and has to be very careful returning home, as there are some anti-vehicle squads between that Dreadnought and its home. We've got, let's see, level 3 shotguns, level 3 tacs, and a level 5 Tech Marine now upgraded with that Signum armor as well. So Plasma Gun plus Signum armor equals sad chaos Space Marines, that's for sure. 323 to 319, and everything, I don't know, I'd say the blue team has an advantage, but it may be a tenuous advantage at best, especially considering that this Dreadnought's about to go down, assassinated by those Plague Marines and the Blood Crusher, which has been just a thorn in the side of the blue team since its existence on the map. But really, it can go any direction at this point. We'll have to see. I just don't even know. So let's see, tier 3. What would we see here that would be really effective? I think I would say, if not for these Dark Reapers, the Terminators would be an excellent choice. Man, even look at this Blood Crusher charging in, and that's just unfortunate because it's been such a boon to the red team thus far, and it just charged right into Fire Dragons, Dark Reapers, and a Fire Prism, and singularly destroyed in the blink of an eye right there. And oh man, an Eldritch Storm going down, and oh wow, the Heretics walked right into it. Chaos Space Marines go down as well. Dandalus and GaiusBaltar now with just a few squads between them. Chaos Sorcerer also getting obliterated. However, this autocannon might be able to take out that Fire Prism. I thought I saw a las cannon out there as well, but it might have just been that autocannon. Plague Marines, Dandalus now with not a single army. I don't know what he was planning on doing with those Plague Marines, but that is way too much firepower for them to approach with. And suddenly, as I was pointing out, a potentially tenuous grasp on an advantage here now turned into a full-on winning scenario for the blue team. Dandalus now pulling out a Land Raider Phobos, but that's a questionable purchase against you, Eldar. I know we did just see a single Eldritch Storm go down, but another Eldritch Storm can catch that Land Raider out of position very easily. And we can see AngryRodent almost with another nuke on the field for himself. Plague Cloud goes down, but the Eldar managed to retreat into that fort gate, no problem. Looks like the Tech Marine up top managing to get a Gen Bash down once again. HedonismBot with really the only, really any kind of army at all in the field. Those 2 squads of Grenade Launcher Heretics starting to kind of get phased out here with the leveled up Eldar squads. Level 3 Dire Avengers, these Reapers and Fire Dragons also leveled up now. Autarch around to disrupt with that Warlock, so I just don't know what the red team's going to do to get back into this. That was just such a brutal engagement for them. Signum and that Plasma Rifle making short work of the Chaos Space Marines that were upgraded out here for GaiusBaltar. Those Space Marines really shouldn't even be going in until the Chaos Lord can get that Tech Marine taken care of and tied up in melee, because he's going to take them out so very quickly. Venerable Dreadnought comes onto the field, but of course those Plague Marines just hop right into that garrison, and they're not even concerned with it at all. Fire Prism taking a little bit of fire, but there's just so much down here, and Dandalus and Hedonism just can't do anything about it, losing another squad right there. And let's see, will the Plague Marine get out of there? Plague Champ's got no fear. He's okay. Grenade goes down, manages to tag a single model to get a little friendly fire in there. Chaos Lord doesn't make it home, though. Intercepted by that Venerable Dreadnought while the Dirge Caster goes off on the Phobos, advancing forward into the Eldar ranks, but it has to be very careful. The Phobos has the most offensive potential, but is also the most lightly armored of a Land Raider, only 2,000 HP. I know that still sounds like a lot, but it isn't that much. Imperial Abyss gets opened up, but it looks like the Eldar managed to maneuver well enough away from it. The Phobos taking almost about half HP in damage, but it looks like it will fall back to fight another day. Plague Marines getting a bit too far forward there if they want to try to deal with that Venerable Dreadnought before getting annihilated by these Eldar. Oh man, I'm not even sure. That must have been an accidental retreat. There was no reason for all those squads to fall back right there. Warlock getting a bit too brazen against those Chaos Havocs, and the Plague Champion now upgraded with that Power Fist as well. So a lot of potential melee damage on that Plague Champion, and of course that Dreadnought can't really tangle with him either because that Power Fist does some serious hurt. GaiusBaltar now bringing out the Chaos Predator, 152 to 307 though, and the red team needs to move quickly if they want to get back into this game. Dandalus does have some Terminators out on the field, getting some Heretics for some of that nice Plague Worship as well. Or sorry, Siege Worship for Dandalus, not the Plague Worship. But yeah, I guess I can kind of see where a Predator would be very useful right here. It's just, I don't know. I just don't see how the Reds are going to get back into this. There's a Devastator onto the field, so even if that Predator does come out here, it still has a Dreadnought, it still has las cannons to deal with. And GaiusBaltar doesn't really have any disruptive force anymore after losing his Raptors. And his Chaos Lord, I just don't think has the bulk to stand against Signum armor on his own without something else beefy out here. Eldar fortifying their position, putting up some energy shields, really trying to lock everything down up here along with that long-range Fire Prism support, and of course a D-Cannon moving forward as well. 98 to 307 though, and the red team maybe has only one or two final pushes to really hold on here. They might be better off trying to force their way into the top of the map, but that would allow the Eldar, of course, to kind of get in on their VP. So far, the Eldar haven't been playing super aggressively, though, so it might be worth it to just try to push forward. Little Siege Worship here, moving the Land Raider Phobos in under cover of Shroud once again. Plague Marines think they can probably cap under fire of this Devastator Marine squad, which is getting upgraded to the las cannon, but with the Phobos up here, surprising this Tech Marine, looking like they're not going to be able to hold against this firepower of both of these large vehicles. SamJackson finding himself outgunned, but the Eldar managed to easily rout both of the southern, or I guess at that point the lone single Chaos player in the middle. Very precarious position for these two Chaos vehicles to be in right now, because I think they're the last hope of the red team, and they are way into enemy territory. If the Eldar pull off a nice solid anti-vehicle flank here, which between the Fire Prism, this Farseer now upgraded with the Singing Spear, and those Fire Dragons lurking around, this could be very dangerous indeed. Fire Prism not anywhere to be seen quite yet, but there we go. Let the Galaxy Burn goes down, the Dirge Caster comes in, everything's stunned, but oh my gosh, the Chaos just don't have the firepower to deal with that. This time, that Land Raider gets teleported out over to the Sorcerer, wherever that Sorcerer may have been, out from under that that Eldritch Storm. Let's see, where did that thing end up? Yep, it moved way down here. So excellent reaction, saving that Land Raider. That Land Raider would surely have been done for. Unfortunately, I don't think the Predator's going to be so lucky. Between the Seer Council and that parting shot from the Fire Prism, it goes down, leaving GaiusBaltar again with just a lone squad onto the field. Chaos Havocs and Grenade Launchers trying to pour as much anti-infantry damage as they can into that Eldar blob. Good volleys going down, and again, seeing some nice use of those Chains of Torment. This time the Eldar don't hesitate to blast the chains themselves to get out from under that massive AoE root. With the Phobos this time around, I'm not sure if it can hold against all of this. It's managed to escape death once with the help of that Sorcerer teleport, but now with Terminators on the field for the Tech Marine, again, this las cannon moving up into position. The red team's been doing a great job of holding on to this match, and they might be able to buy themselves enough time to get into it, but just looking at the army tab, Baltar trying to get out another Predator, which I think without the combined arms of some good infantry support, I don't think it's going to be able to hold against everything that's on the field. I like the choice of this Mark of Nurgle Predator. There aren't a lot of vehicle threats on the field, and I think making a more resilient tank is definitely a good choice because the Eldar just kind of have some decent burst. I don't think they have a lot of sustained vehicle damage, so I think going for that upgrade is a pretty solid choice. Avatar is coming on the field for Venjitron, though. I'm not sure how much it's going to matter if the Reds don't manage to hold on to these victory points after this coming engagement. Tech Marine capturing under fire, and it looks like everything is firing now at once. We've got las cannons going down. We've got rocket launches from those Chaos Terminators, but the Phobos is getting dual repair right now. Still a 2-0 cap. These Warlock goes down against Seer Council, can't hold against the Terminators and the Land Raider. Good decap going down up top, but it looks like those Plague Marines are going to get chased off. Siege Worship again keeping that Phobos safe from any unobvious fire right there, without any support, without any vision support, that is. They're not going to be able to take that thing out very easily. Another grenade goes down. Oh man, and they bunched up just in time for that. Almost lost the squad to that. This Venerable Dreadnought looking a bit on the wounded side. It's going to go for this Predator, but I don't think it's going to happen. More Chaos Terminators get teleported in from the void there as the Avatar starts moving in on this wounded Phobos. One Predator goes down for the Chaos side. Again getting teleported out from under. That's twice now that Phobos has been tried to assassinate, or sorry, the blue team has tried to assassinate that Phobos with an Eldritch Storm, and I guess he showed me. I questioned Dandalus getting that Phobos at this stage in the game, but since he is the sorcerer, he has been able to react very quickly to now 2 Eldritch Storms, which, while would have been great to get that Phobos, largely wasted red. So excellent play by him keeping that stuff up, but unfortunately I think despite those few plays, the red team between Dandalus and Gaius themselves haven't quite been able to keep up. They've just lost too much, and they haven't the time to get back into the game. The last few VPs are ticking down as the Eldar push into that final victory point, and the game's going to go to those blue players. Everyone drops the GG as the last few models on, I think that was a Heretic squad, got obliterated right there, but wow. That was some serious firepower there in that middle engagement from the Eldar. Just pretty much wiped out both Dandalus and Gaius's armies there after that Eldritch Storm. And the Eldritch Storm managed to tag a couple squads despite me thinking it wasn't going to do too much. A couple follow-up storms missed on that Phobos, but I think there was just a lack of teamwork there in the center lane after that one major engagement. They tried to make a push up this top lane, which worked out fairly well for them, but they pushed a little too far, lost a tank. The Phobos, despite not dying, did get pulled all the way back to about here with the Sorcerer, so they just kind of had to cede that map control position despite having a reasonable push. And just tons of Eldar fire. Let's look at this. 2 level 3 Dark Reaper squads, level 3 Fire Dragons, 4 squads of level 4 Dire Avengers. Of course, the Fire Prism itself almost at level 3. They were just getting so many kills towards the middle and end of that game. There was just no coming back for the red team, unfortunately. But, oh man, that was some quick, nasty Eldar action for you right there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. We're going to be back with some more episodes coming up here shortly, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe, drop me a line, send me some replays. I always appreciate hearing from you fine folks. This is Red-Rupee. I'll catch you guys next time.